Hello, we're here to talk about a movie that's being crowdfunded on Indiegogo right now as we speak. It's called Ocean Soul. We're nearing the end of day 3 and the campaign is doing really well. You still have to reach your goal though. So everyone listening, please donate and especially share the campaign on your social media. What's that? You'd like to know more? Well, guess what? That's why we're here. I have with me Ruben Bernardo, the director of the film. Say hello, Ruben.
Hey guys, my name is Ruben Bernardo, the director of the film Ocean Soul, and we're so excited to come at you guys and give you a little bit of information.
So, to start off, can we get a brief synopsis of the film?
Yeah, most definitely. So Ocean Soul is a short film that I wrote about a husband who is grieving the loss of his wife, and he's withdrawn himself from life completely, from family and friends, and he has a daughter who's trying to reach out to him, who wants his love and support, and he doesn't see himself being capable of that. And so when him and his daughter's relationship is strained the most, his wife comes back to him in the form of a spirit and tries to talk to him about, what's at stake and where his heart needs to be.
Okay. Before we get too deep into the movie, I want to start off light. I want to get to know you better.
Yeah.
We'll start light. Favorite color?
Favorite color is midnight blue with sparkle.
Ooh, I like it. Atmospheric.
Very atmospheric.
Good vibe. Favorite food?
It changes all the time, but I've been craving sushi a lot.
Right on, right on. Where are you from?
So I was born in Ecuador, South America, and then I came over to the States and grew up mostly between Nevada in the Sierra Nevada mountains and in San Francisco.
Very cool. Okay. And now you're in Portland.
And now I'm in Portland, just traveling up the continents, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. A nomad. Some of the best artists are. Speaking of the arts, what are some of your favorite books?
I love fantasy. I love historical fiction. I love a good drama, obviously. But my absolute favorite book, with 100% confidence, is Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. It's a reimagining of the story of Achilles and his friend, and in this version, lover, Patroclus.
What other interests do you have outside of film?
I really love music. I love feeling emotions through music. So when I listen to a good song, I'm able to open up and it keeps me writing. It gets ideas flowing. I like to be outdoors, in nature or in urban environments. I love people watching, just simple things like that.
So is that kind of what your life outside of film looks like on a good day?
Yeah, on a good day, I'll be reading a good book or rereading a good book and just, watching people pass by. I love seeing how people interact, and I love seeing couples, newer couples, older couples, see how their interactions are, young kids. It's just, everyone is just interesting to me to see how they connect, because it makes me a better writer and gets me ideas about how to, write people.
It makes sense. Yeah, definitely. You got to kind of be an empath to make good art, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of which, start getting into more of the film stuff. What got you into filmmaking?
So my tried and true is always going to be Lord of the Rings. Obviously, I'm a fantasy lover, but Lord of the Rings offers everything. It offers fantasy, it offers good drama, emotion, high stakes, and friendship. It talks about relationships and love, and so that's what got me into filmmaking, is watching that movie and then just realizing that those stories could be told through the screen and through, very atmospheric and amazing visuals and performances, and it just carried on through there. I have a love for costuming and set design especially. I always love things with grandeur or just things that draw my eye and draw my attention. So films like that, and also Pride and Prejudice, classics, Atonement, and then little obscure ones too. Steve McQueen films like Shame and Hunger. Those are all great films that inspire me.
Cool. So you just saw some good movies and you're like, I want to do that.
Yeah, I saw some good movies, and then I'm a bit of a loner when I was little. So the interesting thing is, it took me a while to understand that I did want to do film. I didn't go to school for film originally. I thought I was going to be a nurse because I like taking care of people, and then later on I just realized I can take care of people by providing them with amazing stories, because I think that's just as effective. And yeah, I have my head in the game and I'm ready to make some good content.
So now that you're in the game, what have you been doing to lead up to this?
Since moving to Portland about a year and a half ago, I've been in a lot of different short films around the area. a short film called Woods, directed by Alex, actually, who's right by me doing this interview.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
You've done some music video
I've
work.
done some music video work. I've also done some documentary work. I got a really interesting opportunity. Very, very much blessed by this opportunity to work with a local production company, No Sunrise Wasted, and started off small, but eventually I got promoted to be the production coordinator on their feature documentary that they're putting out now, and it's just been the best pleasure, thus far of 2018 at least. And now that we're in 2019, I'm excited to see what's next.
Yeah, nowhere but up from here.
Yeah.
Shout out to No Sunrise Wasted, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to Devin Tao at No Sunrise Wasted. Thank you, Devin.
All right, so now that we're going to get into the actual movie, let's start off by having you talk about your crew. Who are these people?
Yeah, so we have a really great team of independent filmmakers here in Portland. We've got our assistant director, Jake Rose. We got our director of photography, Marcus Holcomb, production designer, Claire Scott. Also quite exciting is we have Jay Bills, who is a VFX artist who's worked on films like Lord of the Rings and King Kong and Avatar, which for me, it's a complete dream come true.
Things have come full circle in that
Full
regard.
circle. It's very strange, but I have to pinch myself. But yeah, we've all worked in different areas of filmmaking. Claire, our production designer, she's worked on TV shows that have been distributed by Netflix and Hulu, and Jake and Marcus have both worked on different sets, similar sets as well, and live production shoots. And myself, obviously, have been working on some documentary short films and music videos.
Since we're talking movies, what are some of your favorites, and are you drawing inspiration from any particular movies for Ocean Soul?
Definitely. I've been getting a lot of inspiration from not just movies, but books as well. Definitely a book and a play that I've been very inspired by for this film is Christmas Carol. I love that play, and I love the story. Charles Dickens is such a great writer, and it's also fantastical. So definitely stories like Christmas Carol. I've been very inspired by Shame, again, one of my favorite movies by Steve McQueen. And then a lot of visuals, like from Lord of the Rings, obviously, and Atonement.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there because there's three very interesting elements. You've got fantasy Lord of the Rings, you've got Steve McQueen's sex addiction stories, and Charles Dickens. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty intriguing combo. I like
and
it.
some period piece dramas as well thrown in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, and obviously this is a short film, so I don't want to make you talk too much about the plot and give anything away, but can you tell us a little bit about the main character? Who is he?
Yeah, so our main character, his name is Isaiah. He's a father who he's just lost his way, and prior to the loss of his wife, he was quite a great father, but since his wife's death, he's retreated into himself, and he's lost. He doesn't know what to do with his life. He doesn't think it has meaning, and perhaps he's even considering ending it.
Yeah, it's a heavy subject matter. Grief isn't an easy subject to swallow. So why did you choose to make this your subject?
Yeah, I think just that, though I think it's important to present it to people in a way that is respectful, obviously, but gets the conversation going, because I think there's a lot of people out there who are going through grief or who have gone through grief, and maybe they're afraid to talk about it. Maybe they don't know how to talk about it. And so I think to put an example of such a story out there, it gives visibility to grief. I've gone through grief myself, and I know firsthand that it's very isolating. And so for me, if I can provide any way for people to not feel alone, that makes all the difference for me.
Sometimes you guys talk about the tough stuff, for sure.
Yeah.
And if you can make it, a moving story at the same time, all the better.
Yeah, and I think that's why I've been so connected to stories, even though they're from all different genres. These stories I keep on repeating, Lord of the Rings, Atonement, Pride and Prejudice, even of Mice and Men, these stories all reflect very marginalized groups and very specific subjects. And as a person of color and going through a lot of hardships in my life, they've helped me. They've literally saved my life. And so for me, it only comes natural to write something similar to provide that type of help to somebody else, because I know what it can do.
And having read a draft of the script myself, it's not just the story of a guy just being sad, which I appreciate. I think a lot of people appreciate. There's supernatural elements involved, so it's intriguing. It's got more than just.
Yeah, we have definitely we have a lot of whimsicality in it, which is fun. Who doesn't like to see some beautiful, fantastical images? But the thing about it is, it works with the film. It's very complimentary.
You mentioned Charles Dickens.
Yes.
Are there any other inspirations outside of film?
Yeah. My aunt Amy, about 6 years ago, I might be a little bit off on this date. She lost her husband, my uncle. His name was Sam. And I saw her go through grief, and that's definitely something that inspired this story, is just seeing her having to deal with that, and the highs and lows of that. And as her nephew, I'm obviously not experiencing it to the amount that she was, but I saw what it did to her and the family. And I also saw how supportive the family was, and how that really changed the game. And so I wanted to write the script as an ode to my uncle. And also, one of the locations in the script that will be in the film is in Newport Beach at our beach house called Sam Sea Haven, which was actually a beach house that my uncle and aunt built together. And it's been kept in the memory of my uncle, who passed away shortly after. So I wanted to have it be based here because it's an ode to my family, and it seems only right, and it just means a lot to me.
Well, you stole my next question there. I was going to ask you about the locations. I knew you were shooting out on the coast, but I didn't know that. So it's coming from a personal place. I think that's important for a story like this, definitely.
Yeah, that house has a lot of memories, and a lot of memories that I know my family and I wish we could have made together with my uncle. So in a way, it's just kind of, it's just keeping his memory alive through these characters and through this situation. It makes me feel very good, and I'm very excited for my family to see it.
Family's important, definitely. Speaking of which, 10% of your donations are going to a nonprofit. Tell us more about that.
Definitely. So we've partnered with the Doogie Center. Excuse me if I might be mispronouncing that name.
Was it Dougie or Doogie?
It's one of the two.
One of the two.
The important thing is, yes, we are partnering with the Doogie Center, and 10% of all donations are going to go to that center. And the Doogie Center, they're a Portland-based nonprofit center. They're nationally recognized, and they help teens, families, adults, children, all going through grief. They give them support, they mentor them, and I work at a gym, and I met a gentleman who mentioned the Doogie Center to me, and he mentioned that people in his family have really had their lives changed because of it. This is something that we're very excited about, is contributing a portion of the crowdfunding campaign to them, because as artists, it's very important to give back to the community which you've drawn inspiration from, because we're making this film because it means something to us, but also we're benefiting from it. It's going to be a pleasure to see this on the big screen, but we have to recognize that even if it's fiction, these characters aren't real, but they're very real for some other people. It's only right to give back to the community as artists.
It must be the caretaker in you. No, that's good. That's good that you recognize that, and I appreciate that you are approaching this with a solemn understanding of the weight that it carries. So when are you guys shooting?
We're going to be shooting it in March, mid-March, and we're just so excited to get started.
Well, good luck, man. I can't wait to see it. And again, to everyone listening, please check out the Indiegogo campaign. Donate if you can. Share it all on your social media. Get out the word, please.
Yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and keep on checking the page. We're going to be posting updates as we move forward, so we got some surprises for you, some little goodies. So donate, and if you can, that's completely fine. Just spread the word with friends and family, social media, and stay tuned.
Thank you and good night.